everyone. We want to welcome you today to the We Are Flora Pro podcast. I am your host, Latasha J. Humphrey. In a moment, we're going to jump into this powerful podcast today. But before we get started, we want to let our audience know that this podcast is being brought to you by the Flora Pro Foundation, where our vision is bridging the gap, building a legacy. Our mission is that we are a 501c3, community-focused nonprofit mentoring organization, building healthy relationships and partnerships between women and girls through education, community service, networking, unification, and career planning. Our inspiration is Flora Pearl Humphrey. She is my paternal grandmother, and what she taught me and my family was about faith, family, and community. And that is where I draw my inspiration from. Now, audience, I have the pleasure to introduce to you someone who is certainly on a mission. We attend the same place of worship, and one thing that I know about her is that she is a champion for success in the lives of others. I love her fiery personality, and she is super funny. And she has always had a strong love for family, and she loves with her heart. She is strong as it relates to education, as it relates to just being an advocate, an entrepreneur, an encourager, and she is definitely a blessing. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you Eboni L. Truss. Hi, Eboni. How are you?
I am awesome, Latasha. How are you?
I am wonderful, just excellent. And it is such an honor to have you with us today. And if you would, just briefly go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience.
Well, first I want to say thank you for inviting me. I am so giddy with excitement right now to be a part of this time. I'm because I know this is where your heart is as it relates to relationships between moms and daughters and about young women in our society now. So just to have the opportunity to share time with you, with your audience, I'm just over the moon excited. Yes. Okay. So the official, introduction is my name is Eboni L. Truss, and you must say the L because it is sexy. And I am a #1 best-selling author, and the Speak to Get Clients mentor. And what I do is I teach female entrepreneurs and business owners how to use speaking to grow their business and get all the clients that they want. So that is the official thing. But really, I'm just kind of the homegirl who wants you to be everything that you're supposed to be because somebody's waiting for you. That's the round the way introduction.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And we're going to go ahead and just jump right into it. And definitely with a lot of what you just said, the first topic we're going to talk about is purpose. And so on your website, I want to read this for our audience to hear that. Basically, it says, Eboni's core message is that of purpose. Everything God created, he created with a specific and dedicated purpose. From the annoying mosquito to the lumbering elephant, from the blade of grass to the towering oak tree, and from the baby developing in the womb to the oldest of people, God has a purpose for everything. And so I wanted you to really say, just explain why purpose, is that core message for you and anything else you'd like to share.
Okay, absolutely. So I'm originally from Detroit, and I grew up with primarily my great aunt and my great uncle. My mom, she worked 2 jobs. She went to school at night, so we rarely saw her. I was told that one individual was my dad. Found out later on that he wasn't, but I'll get to that. And so I really just had my great aunt and my great uncle. And, life was just kind of regular. Wasn't bad, and like most other people that you hear speak about their upbringing, we were in the same boat, basically, as everybody who was around us. So everybody looked the same, everything looked the same, all that good stuff. So, growing up, there was always an expectation of my mom, of adults who were a part of my life, that I would do big things, that I would do great things, all that good stuff. And I guess in some ways, because that was the expectation, it just kind of was natural, for me to pursue various things. As I got older, though, I kind of fell into like this rut, basically. By this time, I had gotten married, had my oldest son, and I just kind of was just what I call regular. Just regular. Wake up, go to work, come home, wake up, go to work, come home, and that was the gist of it. Then in 2008, my son, he was 4 at the time. We were traveling to a neighboring city to go to the grocery store. And a lady, she didn't see me. I was on the highway. She didn't see me. She pulled out in front of me. And so in order for me to miss her, I swerved. But in swerving, I went back and forth across the median. We came back across, hit the median, flipped 3 times. And I had an Envoy at the time, this big SUV. We flipped 3 times and landed upside down.
Wow.
And there's, so many things happened in those, 5-10 seconds, where the car technically, but God, was supposed to have exploded, like we could have been ejected, like all kinds of things. And we walked away from that accident. Now, on the scene, again, I'm from Detroit. I think I was in shock, though. But I was like, now how am I going to get home?
Right.
Dang. I got to go to work tomorrow. I ain't got no car. What I'm going to do? It was crazy, right?
Yeah.
But a couple of days later, this thought hit me. I was just kind of sitting quiet. I hadn't really processed what had happened. The fact that either my son and I, or both of us, could have been killed that day. And I was sitting on the couch, never forget it, and this thought occurred to me. Eboni, if you would have died that day, who would have really cared? Like, whose life would have been tremendously impacted? What have you done?
Wow.
And I did not like the answer to that question. Because the answer was nothing. I was just regular. I was just, just regular. And, so all those dreams and plans and hopes that I had, like little girls write in their diaries and talk to their friends about, I had not done anything. I was just a teacher. Quote, just a teacher. I was, quote, just a wife. I was, quote, just a mom. And so in that moment, I recognized that there was a level of significance that God desires, for not just me, but for all of us to have. That just waking up every day and just breathing is not enough. It may be okay, but it's not enough. And it was I took the red pill like Neo on the Matrix, because then I was like walk around and I could see how people were like just regular. And all of a sudden inside of me, there was this desire to rescue everybody. Now, do I want everybody to flip 3 times on the highway? Not at all. But whatever I could do to say, okay, listen, there is something in you. What is that fire? What is that thing that makes your heart sing? What is that area that you're like, yes, that wakes you up? What is that thing, and why aren't you pursuing it? And that has become part of my mission, to make everybody swallow the red pill who wants to.
Yeah.
To wake up and recognize that there is a significant, I literally wrote the book on it, there is a significant factor that you have. What is that thing? And when are you going to pursue it? Because one day you're going to wake up dead. And then what you going to do?
Wow.
Nothing. So, that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I feel like I was given another opportunity to reach back for the dreams that I had. I was an entrepreneur at 6. I started my first business at 6 years old.
Wow.
And so now, fast forward at this time in 2008, I'm working a job just regular. No. what happened to that thing? What happened to, where did it go? Eboni, where did it go? You know, when did you just become okay with being regular? And we should never be okay with just being regular. Should everybody be, you know, in business? No, but everybody should be significant in some area.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's really good. Wow. I mean, I thank you for sharing that that story too, because wow. No, I see, you know, even just in knowing you, I see that drive, you know, like your passion or what is really driving you to do it, you know. And I think that's where, you know, when people talk about what's your why, I've heard that, you know, at times. And when you have that can then steer you in a certain direction, but you have, you know, you have a purpose, and you're then able to show others purpose. So I just, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely, yes.
And I wanted to move into what's called, a topic we have is called culture vibes. And it's a lot of times just really discussing certain things as it relates to the culture. But one of the things definitely on the heels of what you were just talking about with purpose is that, you know, we live in a society. I mean, I guess you could say, for better or for worse, it's called a microwave society. Where, you know, we've been trained, and not only is our young people, because a lot of our young people get a lot of flack for this, but it's some adults too who believe that everything can come easy, you know, or they want it easy. They're like, you know, it should happen like this, or just whatever it takes to get it the easiest way. And although we do hear, you know, it takes hard work. Usually people say that it takes dedication, you know, it takes these different other attributes to make things happen. It's still kind of this fairy tale that doesn't really completely expose that it takes you showing up and actually executing. And like you were saying, you know, even as it relates to purpose and how your story and your background, and I saw on your website where, you know, you're on track to be in a 6-figure business, which congratulations to you. I believe that's awesome. You're welcome. And I wanted you to share, one of the words that stood out to me though was when you said, I monetize my expertise. So I wanted you to really explain what monetize means for those who may not know. And then, you know, how does that work as it relates to kind of the society? How do you combat that?
Okay, got you. Okay, so to monetize means to make money from, to derive value from, right? So I believe that people, and part of what I do is I help women to get paid for who they are and what they know. I am a firm believer in Deuteronomy 8:18, that God gives us the power to get wealth. Why? Because he desires to, first of all, show forth his glory, but because he desires to establish his covenant. He wants for his kingdom to be built in the earth. And I think that when we are walking around pole-mouthed, when we are walking around not able to meet the needs of people in the moment, that we are misrepresenting God. And so I believe that one of the ways that he gives us that, quote, power is through the talents and the gifts and the ideas and the inventions that he gives us. And so we need to be making money from those things. I've said it for years. People are sitting on so much money, so much wealth, it is ridiculous. And I think that people don't give themselves enough credit. Once again, we think that, you know, we got to work a job, and that's the only way that wealth, that prosperity, that notoriety can come. But more than that, I think that the average person truly believes that notoriety is not for them. And that's a lie. You know what I mean? So, but that's the thing, though. Like you said, we have to show up. We got to show up first and foremost for ourselves. Forget talking about showing up for people, showing up for children, you know, whoever. You got to show up for yourself first. You got to have a revelation that not only do you have a significant factor, but that you need to monetize it. That is the way that you can establish wealth for those children who you're concerned about, for your family, for whatever, to move to whatever it is. That's because, okay. I might step on some folks' toes, and I apologize ahead of time. We got Band-Aids in the back, just in case. Just in case you have need of. Okay?
Okay.
The reality is that if your 9 to 5, just within the confines of your 9 to 5, if your 9 to 5 has not been enough, then it's not going to be enough.
Wow.
If it hadn't already been enough, working an additional 5, 10, 15 years is not going to make it better. Like, it's only going to compound. So when we think about a microwave society, getting it now, now, absolutely, it's there to get. Don't get me wrong, it's there to get. But the reality is that you got to put your hand to some stuff in order to get it. Like, that French truck is not going to open wide in front of you on the highway. Like, that's probably not going to happen. And, like, the store is bringing babies, not money. So, like, basically, you got to do something. Like, you have to do something, and you have to do it consistently.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people who try stuff once or twice where that didn't work, where you only did it 3 days. So, yeah. It's like it probably was going in 3 days, But,
wait a minute, only Jesus was able to.
We really think that this is like the popcorn that we put in and in 2 minutes it's done. No. And I know this to be true. Surely other folks can relate, but I'm constantly on a health and wellness journey, right? I'm constantly I've been trying to lose baby weight, and my baby will be 8 in a couple weeks, okay?
Yeah.
So I know that I didn't put the weight on in 3 days, so I can't expect for it to come off in 3 days. Well, I can expect it, but I'll be disappointed constantly. And I think that's where most people are. They're in a constant state of disappointment because they have unrealistic expectations. We have to have realistic expectations that correspond with our action. If you ain't doing nothing, quit expecting something.
Yeah.
Again, we have Band-Aids in the back.
Right.
But if you ain't doing nothing, stop expecting something. If you're doing little, expect little. I mean, that's it. If you plant little, then expect little. Like, that's just the reality of it. But if you are consistent, if you are committed, if you, over time, doing the small things consistently over time, man, when I say compounded interest is the most explosive force basically in the universe. So when you compound your efforts over time, that's when you see the reality that you've been expecting. But if we just doing stuff for 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 hours, 2 or 3 moments, then no, there should not honestly be an expectation of a quick come up unless you rob a bank. That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Right. And then that's definitely not, it may seem profitable, but
Right.
the end to that,
Right.
my goodness. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Wow. Ooh,
Yes.
okay.
You got to have expectations that correspond with our actions.
Yeah.
So we got to be self-assessing. What am I doing? And if I ain't doing nothing, then okay, well, just sit in that.
Yeah. I mean,
That's it.
yeah. That is it. Put a pin in that one, because that pretty much is what it is. If how can you want something and you're not putting in the work? So thank you for sharing that. And we're going to segue into the topic of family. And like I mentioned in the intro, I know, you're strong on family, and you and your husband, you have two beautiful sons. And so I wanted to know, why is family so important to you?
Oh, wow. We have my husband. Well, in the public eye, I call him the hub. But my husband and I, we have two sons, Gabriel and Michael, and they have, in my process, in my journey, in what I do, they have been incredibly supportive. This, I mentioned earlier how I've been a business owner since I was about 6 years old. Mm-hmm. And so entrepreneurship, business ownership is kind of the thing for me. And back in 2011, well, back up. So by profession and by training, I am a teacher. I have a master's degree in elementary education. And when I finished my master's around the time in 2006, what dropped into my spirit, my thinking, my mind, was that I was going to start a school. So, fast forward to 2011, I had what I thought was the opportunity to launch out and start the school. And my older son, Gabriel, was a student at a local private Christian school at the time. And I mentioned my desire to the headmaster of the school. So she pulls me into her office one day, and she's like, okay, yeah, so we're thinking about getting out of this thing, getting out of the business of, daycare, school, all that kind of stuff, and we want to know if you want to take it over. And so, I was like, oh, yeah, like, this is God, da-da-da. I was excited. My husband was kind of like, I was like, no. I know it's God, And so, long story short, we took it over and got duped. Turns out that the property was actually in foreclosure, and we didn't know that. And so the owners were looking for a scapegoat, basically. And so, it was such a stressful time, Natasha. My husband told me later, he said, Eboni, I used to pray that the stress would not kill you. Like, I would literally, contend and intercede for you, because I really believe that the devil was trying to take you out of the stress of doing that. And, it was crazy. But in the running of the, so I was told that I was going to have a certain number of students who were going to transition over, to my new ownership. And that number was 25. And so I had, run all my numbers, did all my stuff off of that. I quit my full-time tenured teaching position, and I started this school. And the day after we signed the lease, I found out that I was not going to have 25 students. I was only going to have 11 students. And so instantly, I was not going to be able to pay myself for this work that I was doing, or in my business. And so, I was struggling. I stood on street corners and hold up. Like, I did everything I could to, get students. But in the 3 years that I had the school, I never got paid. And so, in the process, we had to file bankruptcy. We had to give our house back. We lost both our SUVs. We were on food stamps. My children were on Medicaid. And in the process, my husband, who had, a, quote, good government job, federal government, it was during that time that there was those massive layoffs. And so he got laid off. So now we are basically living off of an unemployment check that he gets of like $230 a week. It was a terrible time. And I can remember in the middle of that, Gabriel came to me one afternoon and said, Mama, are we poor? And I looked at my baby Tasha and I said, no, son, why do you think that? Why do you say that? And he said, well, every time me and Michael ask for stuff, y'all always say, no, we can't get it right now. And, I know that he would notice the times when the food was low. And God, oh man, God is so faithful. He is so merciful that we never went without, like our lights never got cut off or whatever, but at the same time, I could tell that my children were being impacted. And now, fortunately, it was during this time that the Spirit of God shared with me, really what I was supposed to be doing, which is what I'm doing now, coaching, mentoring, speaking, that thing. But I had already dug this hole, but thank God for His mercy. And so they lived with me throughout the whole, my husband, we were at odds because of the stress, because I was never home, like we were, when I went to divorce court, we were really on the enemy was really trying to totally destroy our marriage and everything. And so now, in the reality of where I am now, as a success, in business, 2-time best-selling author, got clients all across the country, speaking, traveling, doing things, I almost feel like I owe them, the opportunity to see my success. First of all, to see the walk of faith is important. I know for not only my husband, but for my children, to see where we were and to see where I am now in business. But at the same time, I understand that my children are my children, and I have to be a good steward over that relationship. My husband is my husband, and I have to be a good steward over that relationship. So not only do I kind of, as I call it, owe them, but also I recognize that we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Like, I have my son at my book table when I travel. They're selling my book at the table. When I'm doing stuff and my family can come, it's a family affair. Like, we all do this thing together. So I've seen where when I had the school where I was trying to do it by myself, I didn't really involve my husband in much any of it. I carry all that weight on my shoulders. So part of that is seeing, when I was growing up, my mom, she had 2, sometimes 3 jobs, going to school at night. I never saw her. I saw myself being that person when I had the school. Mm-hmm. My kids never saw me. I was pushing, gunning. I would be gone from literally sun up to sundown, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. Get back up at 5. I'm back out again at 6. Like, it's this constant movement, constant going. And so, in retrospect, I'm like, no, I can't be that person.
Okay.
Because I know how that impacted my walk with my mom. And so now it's like, okay, no, I can't be that person. Not that she's a bad person or was a bad person. She did what she knew to do, but I know better.
Okay.
Right? So I got to do better. So that's why it's just so important. It's so important for me to be a much better example and to be a part of their lives, to have those. My oldest son is 12. That means girls going to start knocking. Am I ready? I got to be ready to have those conversations.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he just got his first phone. I'm like, I'm not ready.
Right.
Like, what?
Right.
Like stuff like that. I got to be present and in the moment for. I can't miss this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
No, that definitely, that's pretty powerful as it relates to, family and just kind of even the different challenges that you all face together, and you're able to, to be on this side of it. And the next topic, in light of that, the next topic is about marriage. And I have to say, from what you just talked about, definitely his character, to say he's praying for you, even though you said, you all, was knocking at divorce to some point, but he still, there was a point he was like, I'm praying for you, I'm here for you. And the question I wanted to ask you relates to your husband now, in light of even the things that he did do in the midst of you having challenges. How did you know at the beginning that he was the one?
I did it.
Okay.
I couldn't stand my husband.
Okay. Look. Wait a
Before he and I actually started dating, I kid you not, we did not like each other.
Whoa.
We attended the same house of worship. Before we transitioned to where we are now, we were in the same house of worship and could not, we was talking about each other, everything, it was terrible. I couldn't stand it. But the story of how we got together is interesting, so I guess I should tell that story. So at the time, I was actually engaged to someone else. He and I had been dating during college, and I had since graduated, and we were in the process of planning our wedding. About 2 weeks from the wedding, family told me, folks done rented services, folks done bought dresses, we paid it. Well, I paid the caterer, all kind of stuff. Folks have booked flights, they're on their way. 2 weeks out after a service one Sunday, we go to McDonald's to just kind of grab something to eat, and we're sitting at the booth, and he looks at me and he says, Eboni, I don't love you anymore. I just see you as a friend.
What?
And that's what I said.
Wait a minute.
What? What you mean? What? I'm looking for cameras.
I know, right? Like, this is a joke.
I'm like, what, huh? And so he said it again. And immediately at the table, I start hyperventilating. Oh. And he picks me up, throws me over his shoulder, carries me out to my car. He takes me home, picks me up again, lays me across my bed, and walks out and closes the door. And I don't know how much time passed, but I just was there. And so eventually I got up, I called my mom, because that's really all I knew to do. Because, something go wrong, you call mama. You don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And so we talked and everything, and so it turns out he had 1 year left of college, and he was working at night at Domino's. So I worked at DHR during the day. I would come home, he would come get my car, and then he would go and work at Domino's. Drive my car for Domino's. While I would be, at home planning, So, turns out he had become infatuated with one of his coworkers. And they had been, doing their thing. But what was even more interesting is that this coworker actually lived in the same apartment complex that I did.
Wow.
So at that point, I would come home and he would be outside playing with her sons. And it's like, one big happy family and yada, yada, yada. Or, he would pass by me driving her car on the street. He would honk and wave. And I really wanted to put a hit out on his life. It's like, what is this? But in the interim, my husband, James, once the word got out, word got out, and so I decided, my best friend at the time, she was like, okay, listen, I see you falling into a depression. Tasha, I would literally lay on my bed and just kick the wall for hours, just kick the wall. I survived on cereal and popsicles for I know about 5 or 6 months.
Wow.
I didn't eat. Because it was so heavy.
Yeah.
Because he was always in my face. I could always see this failure. And now I'm in debt because I done paid all these folks. I got to pay folks back for what they, because everything was now canceled.
Yeah.
My friend was like, let's throw a party. I said, okay, let's throw a party. So I threw a party, and James came. So by that time, the word was out. And I found out later he told, who's not my sister-in-law, he said, Eboni kind of cute. I never looked at her like that before, but she's kind of cute. And it just kind of went from there. So he or like do little stuff. He called for my birthday. There was one time we were at church for something, and I mentioned how I was thirsty, and came home, got about 15 minutes after that, got knocked on the door. It was him. He had bought me a case of water and brought the water for my birthday. He gave, a card, and he was like, I had everybody sign it because I didn't want you to know that it was just for me, so I tried to mask it, So there's all those various things. Now, when he and I decided to get married, I totally believe that I was still, I wasn't totally healed.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't healed from that previous, I was still, I was not in love with my former fiance, but I also at the time was not in love with Jay.
I got you. That's real. Yeah.
But, right. But, at this point, and here's, honest to goodness, here's my thought. Well, at least somebody wants me.
Mm-hmm.
I felt neglected. I felt rejected. I felt just like a heel, but at least somebody wants me. So, okay. And it was the honeymoon phase for maybe about 2 weeks. Then I was like, I'm out. Like, you have to go.
Wow.
And for literally, now he and I have been married now for 14 years.
Whoa, congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. For the first probably 10, 11 years, it was up and down, touch and go. Up and down, touch and go. Really, and I had, when I had my oldest son, that's when I said, okay, well, now I can't leave for real, because now we got children.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got a child, okay, now it's too late. Then when Michael came, it was like, nah, I'm just stuck. Dang. I can't go nowhere now for sure. Mm-hmm. And so, it was just like touch and go constantly. Then I started becoming introspective and saying, okay, listen, because I always felt regret. I felt like I had done James a disservice. He honestly was in love with me with everything, but I was not giving that same thing back to him. And I had honestly felt like I could never do it. I felt like we should never have gotten married. Okay. And I told him that, and I was just like, and he was trying to stick it out. He was like, listen, something's going to happen. And he decided to pray. He was like, listen, I'm going to be praying for me. And so I thought, well, yeah, because you need some prayer. So I don't pray for you. You're doing the right thing, bro.
Right.
Yeah, because, I'm going to have to hurt you in a minute. But eventually I was like, okay, this is really more so about me than anything else. And so about that 11th year, I started just being very prayerful and looking at myself, and I started being open and confessing that I love my husband and I'm in love with him. And I decided, all of these new thoughts I decided to let in, because for me at that point, divorce was not an option. I told myself, you just can't. If you gotta stay for the kids, then make that be a thing for right now. But listen, work this out. And over time, it just really started just getting a whole lot better. It became wonderful. But at the same time, that thought of the day, y'all probably shouldn't have got married. Mm-hmm. Because you were rebounding, And so one day during service, and probably maybe a year ago, one day during service, I just really sensed that the Spirit of God was like, I'm sorry, right before that, the Spirit of God said to me, James is a great man in the midst of great men. And I really had this unction to war over that. Pray that out, all that good stuff. And one day in service, I just really had this strong unction that the Spirit of God was trying to get something to me. And so by the time we drove that hour home, I said, y'all go on in. I'm going to sit in the car. And so I put on my voice recorder, and I just started speaking out like how I was feeling to allow God to just speak to me and just get this whole thing out. So what God showed me was that it doesn't matter how James and I got together. He's not concerned with that. Nothing, like that's not even the focus. Where he wants my focus is not how we got together, but the fact that we are together and that he wants to do something with that.
That's good.
And if I'll just allow him to do what he desires to do with that, it will be just fine.
Wow.
And that's when it just really hit me that, okay, like this, and so it has really just been in this last 12, 18 months has been really blissed because I understand what he wants to do. And the reason why the enemy kept bringing those thoughts, and the reason why he has constantly been trying to separate us up until like this last little bit, has been constantly trying to separate us. And so now I know that my husband is the one. He was the one. It would have taken my ex-fiance to break off like he did. Because I wasn't going nowhere. Like, I was sold on everything about this dude. Like, he was just like, in my mind. And so, God's like, no, I want to do something with you and James. Like this, and it's like I don't want to have time for it, but it's big. It's big. And so I'm like, God, I get it. I get it now.
Wow.
I totally get it. And so, so it may take for somebody. It may take that realization. Now, of course, everybody's situation is different. So each person has to go to God and, ask, okay, what's up? You know what I mean? Or allow God to minister to you, but be open. I guess that's my advice. Be open. If the person, is abusing, like putting their hands on you or something, then no. I'm from Detroit. I might cut somebody.
Right. Don't do it.
You don't do that. You don't do that. But I'm just saying my thought process.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we ain't stand around no abuse and all that.
No.
It's like how we were. Like you just cannot get along. Everything that he does or she does is just like, oh, I can't stand you. And you can get over that. And you can really get over that if you are open and allow God to do what he wants to do in your relationship.
Yeah.
Because it sounds cliche, but I promise you it's not about you. It's not about you.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful because, the different women that I've had the opportunity to talk to as relates to marriage, a lot of times they're always saying, it takes two willing people. And that's something I do believe. Like, if one person that just wants to go and they're not trying to change it, then it's hard to try to change someone's will. But if they're willing to do it, then that's a totally different thing. So if we're both like, hey, we're willing to work this out, what do? We may not know what to do right now, but let's work through it. Then I totally agree with you. Outside of any type of physical or mental abuse and things like that, then that's totally the option, in a lot of ways, if that's what you all choose. And so I wanted to follow up that a bit. You've touched a little bit, but as it relates to any pearls of wisdom that you can give, particularly to single women who may desire to be married one day. And one of the things I just like to share, because, and I know I'm not the only one, there was a time where marriage was an idol for me, and I fell into the trap of, as a little girl, you're like, this is what you do, you're going to be married one day. And then, of course, as time went on, I had my children before I got married. And so that was kind of, we got past that. So then you get to a certain age too, then, it's like, well, when am I going to get married? Or you want to be married? And I've just recently, in recent years, really have embraced my singleness. where I'm like, this is not a holding cell. Before, you like, oh, you're free to, now we're walking through the marriage gate. No, it is a time now. It's different. And so just for you, because you have been on the other side, and you are on the other side, and you've been single before too. But what can you speak to a woman who, she desires, she may be a little anxious right now. But you're like, hey, in this moment, this is what I could say would be my pearls of wisdom for you.
That's good stuff. So I love how you said that singleness is not a holding cell.
Yeah.
Because it's really not. It's really the best place that you can be when you're there. It really is just like I believe marriage is the best place that you can be when you're there. Being unmarried is the best, or single is the best place that you can be when you are there.
Yeah.
I really believe embracing your now would be my best advice. To not, be so concerned about the past, homeboy 2-3 years ago, to not be so consumed with the future. When is it going to happen? Where is it? But really being open and aware in the moment, like embracing where you are, embracing all of you in your current process. That's one thing that after homeboy left me at the altar, basically. That's one thing that I wish I would have done. I wish I would have spent some time with just Eboni.
Right, that's good.
Just enjoying who I am. And in some cases, understanding and finding out who I was. Finding out what I really liked. Because he and I have been together 4 years.
Wow.
And so, I hadn't looked at, I had been all up in his face. So in many ways, I had kind of forgotten who I was and what I liked and what I want to watch on TV and that kind of thing. And I really believe that had I taken time to embrace who I was at that moment, I would have been in a much better place when James took the opportunity to come into my life.
That's
you know,
good.
and so we are in a much better place to dismiss the wrong people when we're just fine with who we are.
Wow.
A
That's
lot
good.
of people really feel like they have to be with somebody and that makes them. No, God made you.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. He made you. He knows you best. You know? So, in going back to your creator and saying, okay, you know, I know I've been with dude for 40 years. He got me watching WWF. I don't even like wrestling for real.
Wait a minute.
What? I'm all on the pay-per-views, watching this thing. What? You know, like, this. Okay, so what do I like watching for real, God? Is it Law and Order?
Yeah.
Just having that opportunity to just know, like, singleness. People say, I have one person in my life in particular who's always talking about how lucky I am to be married. And I tell her, but you're just as lucky to be single.
See?
You know, like, when you go to the bathroom, you don't get knocked on the door how long you going to be.
See?
You don't get the time. You can stay there as long as you want. You can light candles and just be in it. You know, you don't have to share the cover.
Right. I love it.
You know, these are things that, do I love sharing the cover? Yes,
right.
Absolutely. But the fact that you don't have to share the cover is awesome too.
See,
and that's
good.
What I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. Embrace your now. Embrace your now.
Yeah.
Not when is it going to happen, not homeboy, will he come back? but the now in your wonderful, beautiful, single self, where you can get up and go when you want to, ain't got to ask nobody what their schedule is.
Oh, my.
You come on.
It's so appreciated. Oh, it's so appreciated.
An individual brain.
Right.
Enjoy it. Oh man, relish, roll around in that thing.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Embrace your now. Man. That is the perfect advice. And so I know someone will be blessed by that, because that is true. Embrace your now. Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we want to segue into the topic about education and Talladega College, because when I went on your website, I know you about to get cracked now, but you called it the Harvard of the South. And so I wanted you to share your educational experience, being at Talladega, and why you call it that, and just, kind of what was that experience like?
Man, being at Talladega was, it wasn't like a different world, like that TV show.
Right.
But it wasn't quite far from it.
Okay.
It really wasn't. And I actually, because I've said that multiple times, I'm from Detroit, so coming down, leaving past Michigan, go blue, by the way, Michigan, U of L, like past the auto schools, coming all the way down to Alabama, like how does one do that? I found out about the school actually from the Cosby Show.
Okay.
And there was one episode where Cliff was grilling Denise about what schools, she was thinking about going to, and she rattled off, this, and Tyler, I was like, where? I've never heard of that one. So I went to the library, researched it, all that good stuff, and I actually applied to all the schools that she mentioned.
Wow.
And I wound up coming to Talladega, and I had the opportunity to meet some fantastic people during my college years. Now, for those individuals who maybe like on their way to college, or like not far from those years, here's my advice. Because my freshman year, I was just like fancy free. You know what I'm saying? I was just doing the thing. It was my sophomore year where I met dudes. So the next 3 years, sophomore, junior, senior year, it was all about him. I feel like that was a mistake.
Okay.
Because I alienated my friends. Like I barely had time for them. Like just all kinds of stuff. So I don't think you asked for advice, but I'm gonna give you something anyway. This was free.
Okay.
So my advice to those who are on their way, doesn't matter HBCU or not, enjoy it. Like, don't get tied down. Find all kinds of different people to interact with. Find all kinds of different personalities and different faiths and different, just different everything. Get as much outside of your comfort zone as you possibly can. Why? Because once you walk across that stage and you go out into the real world, having done that, you'll be more prepared to deal with everyday people than if you just surround yourself with the folks that you like, with the folks that you're the most like, and you're like in this little bubble that's going to get popped once you go out into the real world. So make sure that every year you got. Now, here's what I do. I have a small core of like really tight friends just two plus my husband who are just in it. You know what I'm saying? And then you have like the peripheral people. So, freshman year, get your core group. But then sophomore, junior, senior year, go out, get other people, friend other ethnicities. Go join other organizations. Like, switch it up.
Yeah.
Constantly keep them guessing about what you're going to do next. like have people watching you. Don't watch people.
See,
You know what I mean?
that's good.
Just live it up. Nah, do I advocate getting drunk and all that? No.
Right.
It's so why you doing it.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to go sleep with everybody of different ethnicities and stuff. Don't do that.
Right, get to know them.
Hang out with them. Right, hang out with them. And just see the world on your campus, so that when you cross the stage, you'll be more prepared to see the literal world that will be around you, and you won't be afraid to take a job in China or travel across the country or whatever, because you will have been exposed to it. Exposure expands us. So as much as you can expose yourself to it as it relates to the opportunities on campus, do it, man. I'm talking about, and do it up. Do it up. Absolutely.
Awesome. Was that what, even in being there and choosing that, was that what made you at some point then want to become an educator?
Girl, that's a whole other show.
Okay.
I had no intention ever in my whole life of being a teacher. Never, ever.
Really?
Ever. Never. Growing up, from as far back as I can remember, my goal was to be an attorney. I was going to practice law.
Gotcha.
Now, I vacillated, between the different kind. I finally settled on corporate law. So my plan was to jet set, buy and sell companies, oversee acquisitions and mergers. But I was going to be the stuff in law. And my junior year of college, I was sitting on my bed. I had chosen, nailed down to 5 schools, had the applications across my dorm room bed, and I said, okay, God, here we go. Which school you want me to go to? And the Spirit God was like, none of them. You ain't going to law school. And I was like, what? Wait a minute. Have you not been watching my life? My whole life, I have been dreaming of this.
Right, this is the time.
You're right. Every club I joined, everything I did was this. What do you mean? No, law school, no. That's not the plan.
Wow.
So I had to go back and regroup, and I said, okay, God, all right. Okay, just slide it over. Okay, cool, God. I see your hand, Lord. Hallelujah. So I understand, and I get that you want me to serve, I'm sure, in some sort of full-time Christian service ministry or something. I said, okay, so what seminary you want me to go to? None. Ain't going to seminary either. I said, well, God, I don't know why I'm going in. What am I doing? What is supposed to happen? I felt like everything was crumbling, Tasha, like my whole everything. And what I believe the Spirit of God shared with me was, I want you to remain in Talladega in order to help build a foundation for my kingdom. Now I'm a junior in college. So now I have no plan but you going to stay in Talladega. I don't know what that looks like. I got to tell my mama this information. It's like, I gotta face it. But I had never, in my young adult years, I had never spoken, prayed about what, who, what, when, where, how. Never. It was always my plan. But as you know, Scripture says a man plans his way, but God directs his steps. And so God redirected me. He completely redirected me. And so I wound up staying here. My mom was mad at me. Everybody was like, what? All my folks I graduated with, they're like, you still there? What happened? Everything all right? Why you from Detroit? Why you didn't go back home? Man, God said I stayed here. What? You should have fasted, because I don't believe you heard the Lord clearly, because something wrong with that. All kinds of folks saying.
See.
And so I started, right, that's for real whole other show. So I started working at DHR, and I was doing child abuse and neglect assessment. So I would have to go out and interview children, check out homes, talk to parents, because they've been accused of abuse or neglect. And I went to a local school one day talking to this little boy. And after we got done, he said, "Will you stay and eat lunch with me?" Little first grader. And I'm like, "Oh, that's so sweet of you. Okay, I'll do that." So he went to go ask his teacher. And I walk out the office into the hallway. And I had what I call my epiphany. And I smelled the lunchroom. I heard the kids, all this, like this. I envisioned it like this swirl going around my head. And the thought hit me, I could be a teacher. And I left the little boy. Just left him there. I totally just went to my car, drove down to the County Board of Education. I walked in, told the receptionist, I said, "I want to be a teacher. What do I have to do?" And she looked at me and said, "What?" And I said, "I want to be a teacher. What do I do?" Hold on. Somebody so she talked to the superintendent. She came out. I went in, talked to her. She told me what I had to do. I went home on my lunch break, researched schools, went back to school, got my master's degree in elementary education, and the rest they say is history.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty deep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. That's pretty deep.
But that's just preach, because that God knew that ultimately where He wanted me to be, again, coaching, mentoring, speaking.
Yeah.
And doing that and working with people, you have to be able to break information down to like the simplest means.
Yeah.
In order to speak and teach people step by step what to do.
Yeah.
And being a teacher in elementary school taught me that.
Yeah. No, you're right.
It prepared me for now. I had no idea. Now, of course, the entrepreneur in me, there was always in the back of my brain this thing of, I ain't gonna retire with y'all now. Don't be thinking that, But at the same time, that training, that experience brought me to where I am and taught me gave me the foundation that I needed to be able to do successfully what I'm doing. So I'm grateful for that. I absolutely am. God knew.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. Well, we're going to segue into the segment we call Mother-Daughter Bonds. And it's where I ask a series of questions, and it really is an opportunity to kind of encourage more conversations between mother and daughters. And I believe it definitely is a good way for our audience to get to know our guests even more. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, the first question is, what book most influenced you?
Whoa. Maybe I wasn't ready.
I love it.
What has most influenced me? At the risk of sounding a bit arrogant, and I'm really not trying to, I really would say I'm very self-motivated. So my own drive, my own desire to be more, to see more, to experience more, to have more, has really been my most major influence. I think kind of as a byproduct, like I said, growing up, like there was always this expectation of me that I would do great things. I don't know why, but there was always this conversation, like of all of my friends. I mean, you're gonna be the one that leads Detroit. Like, you're gonna be the one who do this or who does that. Like, it's always been that way. And so I guess sort of subconsciously, I've had a desire to live up to that. But at the same time, I am very self-driven, very self-motivated. I'm very competitive, and I compete primarily with myself. So I want to be better today than I was yesterday. And so I think that is probably the biggest influence, that coupled with wanting to impress my children.
Okay.
I want to be, yeah.
Okay. Well, what keeps you grounded?
failure. Not that I am or have been, because I believe that failure is not a person, it's an experience. But the experience of failure, having failed more than one time, having gone through the experience of losing everything, is really what's like, okay, I'm much more aware of where I am in business, what I'm doing, how my family is feeling about stuff, like that kind of thing. Like, I'm always aware. And so, understanding that and the fact that I'm here to serve. And so when my clients are like, well, like kind of like give me a side eye, I'm like, wait a minute, okay, how can I be better? How can I do more? How can I serve in a greater way? That kind of thing. So just kind of making sure that the things outside of me are how they need to be. Yeah, I think that's the answer. Yeah.
Okay. What? No, that's what's up. What 3 qualities got you where you are today?
What 3 qualities? Okay. What 3 qualities got me where I am today? 3 qualities. Faith in God, in who He is, because oftentimes I just really felt like I was just a nobody. So just understanding, okay, I'm nobody, you're everything, God, and you made me, so you must have me here for a reason. So okay, and then I'm just growing past those feelings and past those things. So faith, definitely. 2 more characteristics. Humor. Man, like, you have to laugh at stuff and be like, listen, forget it. You know what I'm saying?
I love it, yeah.
Like, it is what it is, man. Just learning to laugh and just say, okay, I'll try again, or okay, that's all jacked up, but it's going to be all, just laugh, humor, laughter. Finding the humor in everything.
Yeah.
Faith, humor, and commitment.
Okay.
Commitment. Yeah, to who I am, to who God has called me to be. To my family, to my commitment. Commitment to showing up, to messing up when necessary. Yeah, commitment. Yeah.
Perfect. What question do you wish more people would ask you?
How they can do what I do.
Okay.
How they can do what I do. Yeah. How they can monetize themselves. How they can live outside the box. How they can think outside the box. How can they be more? How can they live significantly? Yeah. How can they do what I do? Yeah.
Okay. What is something that every woman should try once in her lifetime?
Good. A love relationship with God.
Okay.
And not try it, but commit to it. Like, find it and commit to it. Because when you allow God to love on you and share with you who you really are, then there is nobody and no devil in hell who can come in and tell you otherwise. And when you don't believe the hype, you can do anything.
Now, just following up with that question, Ebony, what is a way that you allow God to love you and really commit to that?
Oh, one thing that I used to do. So my husband and I, we have what we call communication dates, where we won't go nowhere. We just lay across the bed and we just talk. Talk about whatever comes to mind. It might be silliness, seriousness, whatever it is. We just talk because I really believe that language is something that bonds people. Communication, talking. And so one thing, especially when I was going through that bout of depression after being left at the altar, that's one thing that I would do. I would just lay on my bed and just talk to God. Just have a conversation. And that's really how I practice. Hearing him, like having that inner unction of, like, when he's, like, all that. I can remember in the middle of that, it was my birthday, and that whole week it had been raining, and it was supposed to rain. I remember that night I said, listen, just, I don't care what happens May 2nd, but tomorrow, just let it sunshine. And I told him all the reasons why I poured out my heart, just kind of like just saying, hey, I need to see your love tomorrow. Just let it be sunshiny all day. When I woke up, wasn't a cloud in the sky.
Oh, wow.
There was not a cloud in the sky. It was sunshiny, birds chirping. It was hot that day, as a matter of fact. And all the day, I just talked about, God, I love you too. Thank you. Thank you. I love you too. Just back, and just those endearing conversations. When I have a proper spot, God, you love me, don't you? I love you too. Mm-hmm. Just come, really, and it sounds so simple, but it does so much to just have the conversation and really conversation. So expect to hear something back.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful.
Really, and that just builds that. Oh man, yeah.
Perfect. What superpower would you like to have?
Woo, goodness! I love the hard one. I got to do something, but that whole Marvel thing that's going on right now.
Yeah.
I'm loving it, baby. Yeah. Okay. Superpower. Wow. Can I make up one?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would like to have, I would like to have I don't know, I guess I don't want no wand. Like, that's too girly. Like some gloves or something. Or just like I could touch somebody and it infuses confidence in who they are.
Wow. That's good.
And like they then are able to operate in their superpower.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Look at you.
So sexy.
That's awesome. Now, I want to ask you this because just like you've shared, firsthand, you have experience with this. And the question is, what would you say to a woman with a broken heart? And I really want to know, if you had the opportunity to go back and you're outside of yourself at that time, what would you have said to you?
Wow, that's such a phenomenal question. And it's one that I've never thought about before. I would say there's more to you than this. There's more to you than this. This is not the end. Yeah, you're kicking the wall right now, but you're going to kick through it. So if that's what you got to do to get it out, then okay, get it out. But there's something on the other side of this. There's more to you than this. So, yeah, live through it. Don't stay. Walk through this valley. Don't sit down. Walk through it. Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, we're going to segue into the topic, community service. And, a lot of our, it relates to our mission, and we're about giving back. And so I would like for you to share ways that you're actually giving back to the community.
Yay! So one of the things that I thoroughly just enjoy is I started the Young Entrepreneurs Society at my son's elementary school. It's called Yes. And so what we do is we say yes to economic empowerment. Okay, so all of them over the course of the school year, they develop their own businesses, whatever those things are. We plan it out, do all kinds of stuff. Soon I'm going to have like speakers from the community who are also entrepreneurs to come in and share with them. But then at the end of the school year, in the school cafeteria, we do a marketplace. So we invite the community in. They can come, ain't nothing free. They come and buy from these kids what they're selling, like that kind of thing, and just kind of see what they've been working on. And then like last year before last, was the first year that I did it, and like some of those students are still running their business. They're expanding. Like it's a beautiful thing to see. So I mean, just having the opportunity to because my husband and I, Gabriel, we started him in business when he was like 6. He had what was called Gabe snacks and stuff, and we bought him like this big canopy, and we went to Sam's. He's like bought all this candy, all that kind of stuff, and he would sit on the front yard, and he would sell from the front yard. And then on Sundays, we would pop the hatch on one of the SUVs, and folks would come after church and buy his stuff. So it's been ingrained in my children, but I wanted to be able to share that I call it a gift with other children. And so I was like, hey, are you tired of begging your parents for money? I'm sitting at school. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's how it got started. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I love it. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wow. Wow. Well, we're going to move into what's called, it's our faith segment, and it definitely is an opportunity for you to share. And you've shared a few times, definitely where your faith has been tested and you've come through. But if there is something else, as it relates to your faith, I just believe that it would encourage someone.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I got plenty of stories now. I think just under what you said, that your faith is going to be tested. I think that a lot of times we almost are kind of naive toward the world and toward the things that can happen in the world, I guess you'd say. Like we think that because we're, maybe good people, that only good should come to us. And that's the reality that has to set in, is that there are evil people in the world. There are evil forces in the world. And there's going to be bad stuff that happens to good people. But we have to be willing to stand. And in the middle of it, I can remember before we got approved for food stamps, one of my girlfriends, she lived in South Carolina, and she was in college at the time, and so she had gotten approved for food stamps, and she sent me her food stamp card and told me to use it however I wanted to, buy my folks some food, and I would walk through the grocery store, and I would put my Bluetooth in my ear to pretend like I was on the phone. Folks would think I was crazy. And I would practice my testimony. I would practice how I was going to be, like coming to you right now, telling on the other side. Now, mind you, we use somebody else's food stamp card. Now, it's probably illegal. We use somebody else's food stamp card, and then having my own EBT card, but I'm pushing my basket, rehearsing my testimony.
Wow.
Rehearsing how I'm going to be buying for groceries.
Oh, that's good stuff. Wow.
I mean, and I would do that all the time. I would be driving my car talking about how my gas tank was full. When probably for about 2 years, the top half of that mug was probably rusty, so I only put $5 at a time in the thing.
Yeah.
So I never agreed with my reality. Never. Gabriel said, Mama, are we poor? And by all accounts, yeah, we got the foreclosure notice. Yeah. But I told him, no, son, we're not.
Yeah.
We're not. I had nothing in my everyday circumstance to prove that all I had was my faith. That's all I had. All I had was God. That's it. That's all I had. But I knew I could not, and I didn't know a whole lot, but I knew that I could not agree with my reality. I didn't know what was going to happen next. I didn't know where we was going to wind up, but I knew that God would take care of us and that He would make sure that He would honor my faith. And that's exactly what He did. Exactly.
Wow.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
Okay.
So don't agree with it.
Yeah.
It might look the same. It probably does the same. But stop agreeing. Stop it. Stop agreeing with it. That's why you're still where you are. That's why. Because you're agreeing with it. So decide right now that you're going to disagree. And at the point that you start to disagree with it, it's going to start shifting in the spirit realm. And you're going to start seeing the fruit of it in the natural.
That's good,
Absolutely.
Eboni. Oh, that's good,
Yes.
Eboni. Wow.
Yes.
That's a step. See, you can tell you the step by step, like you were talking about, even breaking it down, so whoever could hear that and really grasp it. But it seems so difficult, and it's because the society in which we live in, of course, just negativity is in the air. And you do have to take authority, and that's something you have to learn to do, and actively. I mean, that is a action step of doing that. You got to speak differently, think different, do something different. But it definitely, it sounds so simple to, if this is what it looks like, and it can be a little discouraging, if you have gone through challenges or whatever the case may be, and it looks different from what you desire. And even what you said, like what you said, God said, this is where what I desire for you, and then you're seeing something different. But just like you said, it is simple. It's just that if you choose to do it, but just to say, I won't agree with it anymore. I won't agree with what I see.
Really though, because I don't want to be, kind of, because it's really not. It's not simple. It really is hard, but it's not complicated. That's the thing. Okay. It's not complicated. Now, it is hard, but it's not complicated.
And I guess it sounds simple, because if you hear somebody say, just come out of agreement with, because, I've heard that at different times. Like, don't agree with it. Do something different. And it's when if you've been trained to do something, if it's a habit, and you've been doing something for, and I'm not saying you could desire to do it, and that's why I love God, His grace and mercy, because even when people don't give it to you, or they don't grace you, or whatever, it's like He's still like, I don't care what you've done, my heart is towards you, and I'm gonna grace you through this, like, especially when you're saying, I repent, I want to do something different, because He knows our hearts,
Yep, absolutely. He will. There were so many times where the thought would hit me to say, "Dog," just to complain or to, say something contrary, and then a new thought would come in. Nope, can't say that. And I really believe that's why sitting in my little schoolhouse that day, I could hear from God as to what I was supposed to be doing. I can be redirected again because I was open to it, because I didn't agree with where I was at the time. You know what I mean? Like, I really, when we came back from seeing the attorney, and he was like, hey, y'all can try to keep it or whatever, but they probably won't come get it anyway, And I was like, so we ain't gonna have nowhere to live. And then mama kicked in then. No, my children ain't supposed to be on the street. What? And so, but on that drive, the next day, while I was driving to my school, God redirected me and had me, to go through this process to to put a new roof over our head. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he never left me hanging because I believe, first of all, because of his mercy and his grace, absolutely, but also because I never agreed.
That's good.
So
yeah.
my situation had to change because I was saying something that was different than what I was saying. And they had this, I imagine it being like Clash of the Titans. Like your reality and your faith confession constantly bump ahead. And one of them got to at some point win. Well, if I keep standing and I keep confessing what I see for real, like what's real, not my reality, but what the word has said about my situation, that's going to be what wins out. So I had to have a place to stay. Why? Because that was my confession.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. You know, so I mean, like I said, it was hard because we are conditioned to how you feel. Lord, girl, my back hurts. My man acting the fool. Like we are conditioned to say what we see. So it can definitely be hard, but it's not complicated. Once you get started, it's just like a snowball. Like everything just starts kind of just wrapping itself around this new paradigm that you have. And that's what you want. Absolutely. That's what you want.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to move into our closing segment. It's called Matters of the Heart Moment. And if you had the opportunity to speak to your 4-year-old self, what would you say to her?
My 4-year-old self. Wow. Girl, keep having fun.
Yeah.
Everything you do, just keep on having fun. Keep on imagining. Keep on using your imagination. Keep on having fun. Never lose that. Never lose the ability to see past what you see, because that's going to serve you well when you get older.
Awesome. What is the best, I call it pearls of wisdom, that you've ever received?
Best pearls of wisdom I ever received. Just one thing.
Yes.
See, that's the hard part. Just picking one. Hey, slow and steady wins the race.
Okay.
Slow and steady wins the race. Yes, that consistent action over time, that compounded interest, that pays dividends. Yes, slow and steady wins the race. So trying to be all fast, jump out the gate and do stuff. Been there, fell flat on my face. Slow and steady wins the race. Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yes.
Was there any last minute comments you wanted to make?
Girl, they commented so much, I'll probably over your
Yo.
I'm probably over time.
You are fine.
Just do the thing, man. That's it. And I say that all the time. Do the thing. Whatever the thing is. If you've been waiting for permission, yes, I'm talking to you. If you've been waiting for permission to do the thing, well, here it is. Do the thing. Whatever that thing is, here's your signpost. Here's your sign. Do the thing. That's it.
Well, all right, Ebony. We want to thank you so much. Let's do the thing.
Do the thing.
No, that's wonderful, though. Just give yourself permission to be great.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
I love it.
You have permission to be great.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank you so much for being with us and for sharing a piece of your world with us today.
Oh, man. This has been awesome, man. Thank you. I haven't had this much fun in at least, 2 weeks. I know.
All right. Look at you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. That means a lot. Thank you.
Yay.
Awesome. And our goal at the Flora Pearl Foundation is to always be a blessing to all of those that we come in contact with by operating with the spirit of excellence. We want to thank you all so much for listening today. And you can visit our website at www.florapearlfoundation.org. We look forward to spending time with you all each week, and we will talk to you soon.